this video, I'm going to teach you how to set up a Hyped download gate for your music. We're going to look at what a download gate is, how to set up a download gate and why I use them, and the strategies I use across different platforms to grow your followers and the reach of your music. We're also going to look at some features within Hyped that I use. Just a heads up, I use the Pro version of Hyped, and I'm going to put a link to sign up to Hyped Pro in the description of this video. Hyped does have a basic version that gives you unlimited download gates, but not all the features I'm going to cover within this demo. So let's get into it. First up, what is a download gate? Download gates are a tool that allows you to get something for your track or your mix download. Today I'm going to focus on Hyped as a download gate. Now, as a disclaimer up front, I'm not being paid by Hyped to make this video. I absolutely love Hyped. I've been using it for about 10 years for all of our download gates, from data transmission, new techno, data transmission, drum and bass, and I absolutely love all the features of Hyped. I use most of them from across all our campaigns. I've built hundreds of thousands of followers across our SoundCloud channels using Hyped download gates, and this is why I absolutely love them. There are other download gates such as ToneDen, but my preference is Hyped, and I've built a whole strategy around it. When you're using Hyped download gates, you're getting something transactional for the download of your music or your mix. And what I mean by this is you get some currency, and that is, i.e., it comes in either a follower, comes in likes, it comes in comments, it comes in reposts, usually on SoundCloud. But you can use these on YouTube, for instance, to build followers on there. You can use them as part of your Spotify strategy for growing your Spotify followers, but also for growing followers on playlists and your Spotify account. And you can also use download gates to grow Apple Music, Deezer, Twitch, Instagram, TikTok, and even Bandcamp. The other big thing I collect from my download gates is email addresses, which has allowed me to build up thousands of email addresses and a big database of people that have downloaded my music and my mixes. This allows me to send out future releases for our labels, future mixes that we put out, but also you might have got this video from being part of our database. Today, I want to look at how we use Hyped for downloads of tracks. You can use Hyped download gates for mixes. Again, we still use Hyped download gates on mixes every single day across our main mix series, across our main channels, data transmission, drum and bass, new techno. We use download gates for our mixes, and we've grown thousands of followers every year for our mix series. And this again helps us grow the series and grow the reach of those series. But today, let's look at how we use Hyped download gates for free download tracks, i.e. bootlegs, edits, mashups, remixes, or any track that you want to give away for free. I always think it's better to, when you're building your following at the start of your career, to use edits and bootlegs and tracks that people know. They'll know the original. Maybe you've done a flip to put it into your genre, but people will know the original track, and therefore a DJ will want to download that to make that their secret weapon of their next mix or their next show. By taking something into a different genre, you're creating this mid-set moment for that DJ, and your track could be that DJ's track. You've taken a classic and made it bigger and made it work for your genre. That's the sort of things you're going to give away for free, and those are the sort of things that really get traction as free downloads. You can use a download gate with an original release, and they definitely work, but they don't get as much reach and as much download because people aren't searching for you as artists yet. If you're a bit bigger, they definitely work. Or maybe you've sent some traffic from another platform, i.e. TikTok or Instagram, that people have found you on that other platform, and then they're following you from that other platform. Then they'll want to download your original track. Okay, so you've made your track. Now I want to look at today is how we set up the gates and how we get the most out of those gates. Notice I said gates. I'm definitely creating multiple gates for my free download series across SoundCloud, but also across YouTube as well. My first gate I'm going to set up is for SoundCloud, and I'm going to use that as the host for the music. And the download gate is designed to grow my SoundCloud. I want to firstly grow the followers, but I'm also going to be looking at things like getting more likes and comments on the mix, and I'm also been looking at getting more reposts on that mix. Now, for data transmission in 2024, I've started a brand new mix series, free download series called DT Booties, and this is on my main channels and on my main data transmission drum and bass channel. And if you've got something you want to submit for that series, drop me an email, drop me a DM on Instagram, drop me a message in the Discord. I'd love to hear the music, and I'm considering lots of music for this series all year. The track we're going to look at today, my regular shed heads that are part of my live streams are going to love this. I've finally got a remix edit of 2-pack changes, and for those of you who know how much that track is loved to us by our ROGs from our stream, you'll know the reasons why. And if you don't, jump in my Discord and we'll explain it in there. Now, I use SoundCloud Next Pro, which is the top level of SoundCloud, because I want all the features available from SoundCloud. Like I said, I'm using the Pro version of Hyped, because again, it gives me all the features. I'm also going to get the downloader of the track to follow me on data transmission, but also the artist that created the bootleg, and I'm going to grow their following from there, from our main channels. You can add more steps than this. nice, but it's not recommended because the more steps you add, the more difficult it is for the person that's going to be downloading it. And then they just kind of get bored and go, oh, it's not worth it. They lose that kind of transactional worth. I will speak about my Spotify growth strategy, which I implement for my download gates ahead of releases later in this video as well. Those of you who have seen my recent video on how to destroy SoundCloud in 2024, if you haven't seen that, go and check it out. But those that have seen it will remember that I've said certain things about SoundCloud and how to grow your reach on SoundCloud this year. And these download gates, doing them the way I'm going to do it today, will definitely help that. If you didn't see that video, check it out after. I'll link to it below. So let's jump into my computer and see how we set these gates up. Okay, we're going to dig into my computer and let's have a look at setting this gate up. Let's firstly look at the gate I set up for last week's free download, and we can see it actually in action what's happening. As you can see from this free download, we are getting comments, which means we're getting downloads. We're also getting reposts. So that's extending the reach of this track out to those people's followers, and therefore those people's followers and those followers as it spiders outwards. The big things, like I said, it's getting comments, it's getting likes. Now this is traction and engagement on this post. And as you can see, I've been going back and commenting and replying to as many of those comments as possible. I need to do some more today, because then that's going to push more interactions on that post, and that's actually going to push that more into the SoundCloud algorithm and give it more weight in the SoundCloud algorithm because it's got more interactions. So that's last week's upload, and you can actually see it in action and see what we're going to put into action in the next parts of this video. Okay, so I've uploaded this week's download. As mentioned, it's a 2-Pack Changes remix. For those of my regular shed heads will know how much that means to us. We finally got one. I've uploaded it. I've added tags. I've added descriptions. I've gone into my permissions and I've enabled downloads for SoundCloud. Now this is really important. You need to make sure this is disabled because Hyped It is going to take over the download process, and that's what we want to happen. If you enable this, basically people will skip the Hyped It process, and then you won't get all the benefits from using Hyped It. So this is ready to go. We're going to save this, and now that's live on the site. Now for Hyped It, we're going to take this link. Right, so I'm going to grab this URL from the creating of it, and I'm going to stick it. I'm going to go into Typed It. I'm going to click Share Music, and I'm going to click Download Gate. Now I'm going to paste that into the URL here, and I'm going to click Next, and I'm going to choose the genre, which is Tech House for this one, for all our Tech House fans. And I'll link to this in the description of this video so you can go and grab this download if you want to go and grab it afterwards. Now, I'm going to click Next. I'm going to choose the upload of the file. Now, our artist has given us both the extended mix of this track and the Spotify radio edit, basically. So I could click just to give away the extended and I can just upload the WAV, but since I've got them, I'm going to upload both as a zip. You also might want to add things like into the zip, like your details, your contact details. Maybe if they play it, they can tag you on Instagram. Maybe add that in a little note in there for anyone that downloads it. I've definitely done that in the past. Now this is going to upload, and I'm going to let it upload. It's not going to take very long because it's a small file. And whilst that's doing that, we can then start going into the next steps for this. Just taking up the title, looking at the design, looking at the main important one, the gate steps, and we'll get to that in a minute. Then we're going to look at kind of the promotion, and also we can add things in that Facebook pixel, which I do as well, to track people downloading, and then I can use that data for other things. But also you can drive Facebook and Instagram ads to help the downloads get even more by running pixels and running that setup. If you want me to talk about that more in depth, then let me know in the comments. I haven't really talked about ads on this channel much, but I love making ads, and I use ads really a lot, and I quite like that. Right, next, this is going to take the title. It's going to give you the artist name. Now, the artist name is obviously come up as Data Transmission as the channel. Now, we're the channel, and we're giving this free download away. As artists, it'll come up with your name and the name of your channel. But for this purpose, I'm going to take Miles Thomas, and I'm going to put him as the artist name. It'll then still come up with 2-Pack Changes in the title, and I'm going to click, as we can see, look, it's done that, and it will still have Miles Thomas Remix in there, but I'm going to put him as the artist name so it comes up with his name there and big him up a little bit. Then we can choose the color scheme, so we can either have a light scheme or a dark scheme. We can remove the Hyped It logo if we want. I quite like the Hyped It, I'm not that bothered about it. If you want it unbranded, you can even add things like social media. So you could add in links, maybe your Instagram and your TikTok. If you wanted to add those in, I'm going to type those in there now for Data Transmission as the channel that's giving it away. I'm going to click Next. Now, this is what we were talking about before, is the steps. This is the important part. We're looking at these steps. This is what's going to happen when someone downloads this. So the main one we're going to have is email capture. We want to get people's emails because we want to send them the next free downloads. Like the people that downloaded the free download from before, from last week, I'm going to then email them today and say, hey gang, I've got a new free download. You like the last one, here's the next one, and so forth and so forth. And it builds up and builds up, and you build up more and more emails over time. And you can also email them about your mixes, or like for us, you will have probably got this video from downloading something from data transmission. The other next step obviously is the SoundCloud step. Now you really want to make sure you've got all of these ticks. So follow profile, obviously we want the followers. We want to comment, we want the comments on the track and the likes on the track, as I discussed before. That's going to help with SoundCloud's algorithm and AI, and it's going to help push that out within the AI because you're getting more comments and likes. And the big one is the repost. So you want people to repost that track so that it pushes it out to their fan base and therefore spiders out. So more fans and more fans and more fans, and you get more comments and more likes and more followers basically. Now, it's going to have the track, the one we've got, which is perfect. And obviously it's added data transmissions profile. Now we want to add Miles Thomas. So let's add him, as we want to grow his fan base from this and help him out from running this free download. Now, where is Miles Thomas? No, that's not him. You can actually just paste in the link. But here he is. Here's Miles. I know his face. It's Miles Thomas, and you can tell it's normally a decent profile link. Not got lots of dishes and dashes. I'm also going to add in some other channels for data transmission. So we have our data transmission radio account, and I want to grow that off this download. And also I grow my own repost account. Now what I do with this is basically I have followers on the repost account. When I post this online, I post it on the main account. 24 hours later, I'm going to repost it to the repost account, and it pushes more people to see that track, and it pushes the plays up by having my own kind of built-in repost network. And I've found that super useful for growing my own tracks over years. And as that channel's getting bigger and bigger and bigger, it's really helped push my free downloads and my mixes. Now, the other is the rest of these steps. I'm not going to touch these. I'm not going to add any more. If you add too many steps, it just drives people away from it. People go there and they're like, oh, I don't have to do all these, do I? And if you click on one of these, it does actually say, look, more steps equals less downloads, and maximum you should have is 3 steps, but otherwise you might not see download activity. With this, and you can add more steps by clicking the grey one, but with this, I'm just going to click I agree. When it comes to Spotify, I'll speak about my Spotify strategy at the end of this video and how I change up the gates and use different gates when we go into the release phases of official releases. Okay, so that's that set up now. The gates. It's going to give me the link URL. Now I can shorten this. I think this is a bit long. I'm going to take out the free download. I'll just put that in there. Yes, I want that to appear in new releases. Yes, I want it to get ranked in charts automatically. You can select the scarcity of this download gate. And what that means is if you wanted to only limit it to 100 downloads, for instance, or we do this with our remix competitions, or you notice when I give away stems to remix competitions. And if you've not been part of one of those, I announce those free in my Discord. And basically we give away the stems to a track, and for only maybe a month, and I'll put the scarcity as limited to only till the end of the month, for instance. And then once that competition is over, the stems disappear, you can't download them anymore, and that's that over with. And that works really well for us. Email promotion, I wanted to choose the track from last time, the free download we chose last time. So basically, Hyped will email you and send you the last one as well, which works out really well for us as well. Now, tracking pixels is something to do with Facebook, and Facebook pixel, again, I've not really talked about ads very much on this channel, but I have a Facebook pixel set up and I'm going to add that. So basically that means that everyone that downloads from this download gate, it's sending information about that person to Facebook. And if I wanted to then collect them into an audience in Facebook to serve them more ads or push them to do something else, maybe serve them the next track release, I can do, and that works really well. And again, you can do that the same with Google Ads and TikTok, and you'll be tracking across all these things. Next, now this is just a confirmation page. I'm going to click create, and that is that done basically. That is all set up. Now it's going to say connect your SoundCloud. So we're going to click connect. And essentially, I need to sign out the one that's on this browser, and I'm going to do that. Or you can just click set manually, and it'll give you the link. You can copy that link. We can go back into here, click edit, and put it in the buy link, and change buy title to free download. If you connect your SoundCloud and do it automatically, then it will do all that process for you. It will put the link in, it will change the word to free download straight away. All done. You don't have to do any of that. I'm just doing it manually so I can show you. If I go back into here, if you don't get in metadata the option to change your bylink title, it means you're not on SoundCloud Next Pro and you're only on the SoundCloud Next, the basic version of SoundCloud. That's one of the upgrades you get from being the top tier of SoundCloud user. You can change the bylink title, and that's super useful. The other thing to do with your bylink is a little tip. The bylink actually doesn't work on SoundCloud mobile phone app, and over 80% of people listen to music on SoundCloud app as opposed to the online desktop version. So it's worth just taking the URL and sticking it in your description here, because they're clickable on the app and they actually then work on the app. There is a thought process that you probably wouldn't download these onto your phone, but you might click the link and then send it to yourself if you're on the move and traveling, so you might download it there. Definitely worth doing anyway. So add that in there, and that's then going to help. I'll give it a little emoji, as you can see, so you can see it and it makes it clear. And that is our free download set up, basically. That's that done now. And that's going to get out there. The great thing about Hyped It is once you set up your download gate, you become part of the Hyped It ecosystem. And there are ways for you to become discovered within Hyped It through their charts and through their own platform. They have their own inbuilt chart system, which is really great. And it gives you other content to push to your audience on social media to help build these free downloads out. Each of the genres has its own top 100 within Hyped It, and then there's an overall chart for the best downloads available. And if you can get into these charts, then you kind of grow more free downloads because people are looking at those charts to see what tracks are cool. As you can see, our gate is now set up here, which is excellent. You've got some options on the gate. You can see stats for the gate. You can copy the link. You can archive the gate when it's finished. And you'll see that it's got visits, downloads, and emails captured. You've also got this promote button. And this is one of the things I use these a lot. It's their inbuilt promotion from Hyped It. I choose the $50 one for our tracks, for our free download series. And what that means is it basically pushes it to 20,000 Hyped It tech house fans, so they can maybe download it, and that actually generates some new downloads and new interest for the channel, and it actually works quite well. It also reposts the track on Hyped It SoundCloud to the 500,000 followers that Hyped It have got on their SoundCloud. And again, this opens up the reach because of the repost function. So that works out quite well for me. I do it for my downloads, and actually you can see from last week, we're kind of 32% through on that campaign, and it's growing nicely. One of the great things about Hyped It is it's got inbuilt charts and inbuilt discoverability from its own platform. And people will go to the Hyped It charts to find new music, because it's a great place for discovery tracks. In the Discover Music tab, you go into there, you've got top 100 charts, and there's top 100 charts for each genre that they've set up, and also an overall chart. As your releases start to get downloads, they can start to appear in those charts, which is great because then it pushes obviously more people looking at the top 100 chart, new people find the music, new people find you as an artist, and therefore they'll download it, and it then sets the gate off, more reposts, more likes, more comments, and it just drives more SoundCloud interaction. Great. If we go back to our release, our music that we uploaded last week, we can actually see that it started to pop into the Tech House chart. It's up to the number 84, which is brilliant. I'm hoping that'll drive up some more over the next week or so. We've still got a bit of this campaign to run. I'm still going to run some other campaigns on SoundCloud as well. What we can do is if we click on this, it's going to generate us an artwork which we can actually use on our social media, which is super handy. You announce it, then maybe you start getting this chart artwork, and then this can be used to then drive more people to find your free download. So you're going to grab that artwork, and then we're going to go into Instagram. And as you can see, I've done this with this post. So again, I've used the artwork with the music, and then if I click to the right, it's going to show the artwork. And I can do this multiple times as it's starting to grow. It becomes part of my content strategy for this free download release. Now, our gate's set up, so we can actually start looking at some of the stats that come with Hyped It as well, which is really exciting. If I click into the one from last week, we can actually see some of the analytics we're going to get from Hyped It. Now we can see we've had 198 visits, we've had 65 downloads so far, and this is only 7 days old, so still pretty new. We can see that people that come from SoundCloud have downloaded it, but also we're getting direct, and we've had 61 downloads direct from Hyped It. Now people have found it on Hyped It and downloaded it, which is absolutely amazing. We can see the countries we're getting downloads from, and we can really dig into the data where our popular areas are. And if you're doing this over multiple gates, then you can collab this information into where your biggest areas of the country are, or biggest parts of the world are even. Now, for my free download, as you can see from last week, I actually have 2 gates set up. One for SoundCloud, and I actually have a separate gate just for YouTube. Now, I've uploaded the track also to YouTube, and I have a different strategy for YouTube for these downloads, and I set up a separate gate for those. And I actually might even run a separate promote campaign once the first promote campaign finishes, promote to YouTube, because essentially on that gate, it's just subscribe to my YouTube channel, and that's the one for the data transmission channel, not this one, but the music channel which you have. And if you've not seen that channel, I'll link to it in the description of this video. And that's just all music and mixes, and you'll find great music, house, tech house. We've got a drum and bass channel as well. You'll find all of that music in a separate channel, and we're trying to build that with the free downloads as well. And that, again, that works really well. If we just click into this gate, we can have a look. Again, we've got the YouTube video. If we go to the gate steps, again, it's just collecting email and just collecting your YouTube channel. And that is it. Now, these gates stay active for as long as you leave them active. You saw you could archive them earlier, or maybe you just take them down off SoundCloud. Maybe you get the tracks signed. They'll stay active and they'll keep growing fans for as long as they're active, which is so cool. As you can see from our gates, we've had not 350,000 fan visits, and we've added nearly 78,000 followers from our gates across our channels, which is mental. And they really do work to help grow followers. A good strategy is to change up the download gates later in their life. Once you've got through that initial kind of peak period of everyone downloading it, go back in and edit the gate steps of those download gates. For instance, this is my Spotify strategy. If I have a release come in and the release is about to drop, maybe in a couple of weeks' time, I'll go and change my gate so then it has Spotify follow on the gate. I'll then go and re-push that download gate through SoundCloud, maybe through some content, re-shout about that free download, and then it starts getting more people downloading that gate ahead of my official release. And what that's going to do is going to push my followers up on Spotify. So that means that when my original release drops on Spotify, it's dropping to more followers in my Spotify, which means I'm hitting more release radars potentially, and it's giving that free promo that comes within Spotify from that download gate. And it works super well. This time the download gate is not only building SoundCloud, but Spotify as well, and you're still collecting email. And that is the maximum limit of steps I'll go to, 3 on a download gate. Did you find this one useful? Let me know if you want me to do more about Hyped It in the comments. Maybe you want me to talk about Hyped It Smart Link Gates or the new II ad promotion tools, and look at those in future videos. And if you do, let me know in the comments. Also, if you've just dropped a free download on SoundCloud, again, drop the link in the comments and use these comments to promote your tracks. Also, join the Discord, because there's a whole self-promotion section in Discord, and I'll link to that again in the description. Once you create your download gate, your track is on SoundCloud. Now, how do we promote it? Now, you want to go and watch this video where I talk about the 3 steps to promoting your free download and your free edit and your free bootleg. Go and watch that video next. Before we jump over there, make sure you like this video. It really, really helps the videos. And also, if you've not subscribed to the channel, please subscribe to the channel. I drop new videos every week, and we have 2 demo streams every single week. I've been Graham Farmer. I will see you in this video. Cheerio. Bye-bye.